So before anyone asks, right, why am I using a scooter for this job? Some might actually call it a moped, right, which pains me. So a scooter is actually much affordable as compared to actually running a car. Although I know there are some inconveniences, right, which we actually get depending with the weather. But just imagine like today, right, the weather is just about fine. But yesterday it was actually raining, so that's why I always really go to work with my jacket. So with the advantages, the fuel, right? So this thing, right, the Simjet, right, the one which I've actually bought at an affordable price, 995. This one actually has got an mpg, miles per gallon, of 100, right? And the car which I was using was kind of like 35 miles per gallon, a Ford Focus 2007, and that car was old, and it actually served me right for almost like 2 years and a half. So pretty much I can say I benefited from it. At the same time, I lost a lot of money in repairs and wear and tear, which actually happened on the car. So so it was actually like last month, right? I was driving by, I parked the car. I know they actually a bill about £800 to fix certain things which needed to be fixed. Otherwise, it would have actually failed MOT. Adding an expense of 280 for the starter motor, etc. repair, right? I actually decided to myself, like, you know what? Running a scooter is much more. I decided to myself, like, running a scooter, right, is much more kind of not cheaper, but much more less dearer as compared to running my car. Because in a year, I would actually maybe in a few, like 3 months, right, I'll be spending like maybe £300 or to £500 in repairs, and that was actually a lot for me. And also running the car per month was actually costing me £500, 550 a range, £550 a month, which is something which I didn't actually like to experience on and on. Yes, you might say the weather. Well, the tricky part, you might say, like, do you enjoy? Yes, I do enjoy, but I can actually say, right, I can pretend like everything is fine, because there's a advantage of actually using the scooter as compared to using a car, which we can actually say fuel prices. I'm spending at least say £8 in 2 days, whereas when I was using a car, right, I was spending £40 in 2 days. Not that I am in domiciliary care or home care services, right? So pretty much there's a lot of traveling between clients. For those who actually go to a care home, right, I think it's actually much more affordable. If you get a scooter or a bicycle when you're actually working in a care home, right, I can think like you just save a fortune and maybe use that money for a holiday or buy yourself a motorbike. This is a 125 scooter, maybe you call it moped 125, but when you're searching online, right, you're going to be saying like a 125cc moped. So before I end this video, right, I think it would be okay for me to actually tell you a short step-by-step process of actually how to get riding this. So for you to be able to actually ride a 125cc scooter, right, a 125 up to 125cc scooter, right, you need what we call a CBT, how can I say it, a CBT certificate, which is kind of like a certificate which you get, right, when you go for it might be more than 1 day training. So you get trained around on how to use the scooter, how to actually check certain things on the scooter, oil, etc., everything, how to handle your scooter. Before you actually go on the road with the instructor, right, you have to actually do a few practices on the ground. For me, it actually costed me £220, right? For that, I had to actually pay for insurance in case if I were to drop the scooter, right? So then after that, after being issued that, then the next thing is actually buy yourself a scooter, any online, anywhere, Facebook. In me, I bought it from Auto Trader. Then the next thing is to actually put it on insurance, get it taxed, put on your fuel, and you're ready to go. But before let me correct that. Before you get ready to go, right, you should make sure you have a helmet with you, because this is actually important, and gloves, because I didn't want to, because of my experience riding a bicycle and falling sometimes, right? I've realized the use of actually having some gloves. You can't see it, but well, I fell a lot of times using a bicycle, because my car, when it died, I was using a bicycle. Then I said, no, enough is enough. Let me get you a scooter. So you need a helmet. You need some protective clothing. For me, if you look at my trousers, right, these are just normal trousers, which is kind of not advisable. Wear your jeans. Me, I actually put thermals inside because it's cold, so I wear thermals underneath, and it's been working for me. Yes, it's been raining, but to some extent I was kind of like in between clients. Sometimes I would be lucky enough that there's not much rain which can fall on me. Well, this is Bonus. Thank you for watching.